Mr. Jindal, there hasn't ever been a time that you have not sounded bullish about India. So I'll close on a global question. There is a degree of uncertainty here about, all the protectionist, populist moves that Davos calls it. President Trump, Brexit. We have 3 big European elections this year. What do you think of what 2017 means for the global economy? And despite your bullishness in India, do you believe that we will also be impacted if you expect a downturn?
So it's a very wide question. In a way, protectionism is good. If you look at a narrow goal of my own industry, I feel that government of India should provide some protection to its fledgling industries. Otherwise, we will not become a big industrial setup. We will remain a service industry-based economy, which we should not be. On the other side, if there is restrictions on trade, global, cross-trade, then the whole global economy will shrink, which again is not the best way to approach. So I would say globally the protectionism which President Trump is talking about, which today President Xi Jinping really criticized, or he was probably mentioning because of what Trump is talking, he was echoing that, responding to that kind of thing in this audience. So, but China was a big protectionist till 2002, 2004.
The irony is not lost on us.
Yes. So after they strengthened themselves, after they came back strongly, now they are becoming open. So give us 10, 15 years. Let us become strong as industry, as an industrially strong nation. Then let there be open battle.
No, and you expect that 2017 will, from a GDP growth point of view, be a good year for India?
I think so. I think we
will.
This
demonetization impact?
Would be, now it's more or less over, and people are...
Did you agree with the move?
I think the move was a very good move, but probably the implementation lacked the kind of the planning or the implementation that happened. Probably needed more or desired more attention, or I don't know. So there was no real planning to implement, and because this was after a long time, or let's say a first of its kind in the world, so it's not always not easy. I'm sure. I mean, standing outside the administration, you can always criticize it, but if you are in there and you want to take such kind of bold measure, because to digitalize India, I think this is a phenomenal...
There's a war on black money, sir.
Yeah, war on black money is one, and two is digitalizing, right? Payment should be digitalized and bring the parallel economy into the mainstream. I think unless you take these bold decisions, bold measures, and knowing Prime Minister Modi, he's known to be a guy who take bold decisions. So I support this move. It may have affected...
Despite all the criticism, despite the fact that the informal sector may have been crippled by it.
Yeah,
we don't know. The numbers will only become evident in a few weeks.
So we really don't know. But I mean, there has been... People have suffered, but people have still supported across the country. I mean, some traders have suffered who were involved in...
the steel business, I know we call local steel markets, and they said for weeks they were shut because they were so used to doing transactions in cash, and they couldn't do anything. Yeah,
because a large amount of people were not paying taxes.
I'm sure you saw a dip in demand in those months.
Yeah, a little bit, but not significantly.
Maybe because you work on contracted deliveries, so maybe you'll see it in later months. I don't know, but
no, it's now coming back to normal.
It is,
and but the secondary producers or the small producers are suffering because they were not fully paying taxes and stuff. So they are kind of suffering because they are not the most efficient producers. So they are suffering, and the large industry is benefiting out of that.